Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're finally going to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 17, Denver, Episode 1, Mile High Matrimony. Now, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button, leave your comments, and let's get into the video. So after a long awaited hiatus, Married at First Sight is back, and for the first time in history, one bride has decided she was not ready to do this. She left the groom at the altar. Married at First Sight actually starts with the wedding. The groom is Michael. He's waiting at the altar for his bride-to-be. He's wearing a crown. He's got a saber, a cane, or something like that. He's looking like he's from medieval times, something like that. But I mean, that's his style. He even describes himself as eclectic, eccentric. He's got a unique personality, and just based off what he had on, he was showing part of his personality, right? So when the bride gets to Michael, all you hear is, "I can't do this." Now, they never show her face. You just hear, "I can't do this," and you see the dress and the veil, and that's it. And Michael's left at the altar, emotional. Everyone in the audience is shocked that this is happening. And I read somewhere, and I didn't really notice this, that it was just the groom's family there. It wasn't the bride's family that was sitting in the venue. So maybe they knew in advance that that's not what she was going to do. But here's my thing though. Even though she left him at the altar, why did we see his face and not her face? Why did she get anonymity? I don't think that's right. But because if that's the case, they didn't have to show it at all. But that's just me. You let me know what you think. Then we see a quick sign that says 2 weeks earlier. That's when we meet the singles who are telling their friends and family that they're getting married in 2 weeks, because that's what they do. They get married in 2 weeks. And they're also picking out wedding dresses, tuxes, and even attending their bachelor and bachelorette parties. Now, as usual, the friends and families are shocked that their family member or friend is getting married. But I always think to myself, like, what do you think the cameras are there for? I mean, do they just bring cameras everywhere they go? And I would say out of the singles telling their families that they're getting married, a few standouts for me. The first one is Austin. Austin's mom and dad are very apprehensive. Austin's mom is like, this is not gonna work. Like, how do you know this is your person? How do you know if it's gonna be meant to be and it's gonna be long term? And dad straight up said, there's a chance that this is not gonna work. But Austin is determined that chemistry can be built over time. Even though mom is saying no, dad is saying no, his sister is saying no, he's determined. He said that he's ready for the next step in his life. He's determined to be with the right person. And he's waited for a long time to meet that right person. And he's doing that with the help of their Married at First Sight expert. All right, so the next person to me that was a standout is Claire, the therapist. So not only is it because that she's a therapist, it's also because she's a quadruplet. Now, Claire said that the reason why she got into therapy is because her brother, so there was 3 girls and 1 boy out the quadruplet, and the brother ended up unaliving himself due to mental health issues. So she vowed to never have anyone that she know go through that type of pain before. So she went to schooling for therapy, and that's what she does now. So I personally think it's giving to me that she would help whoever her groom is possibly tap into his thoughts, his feelings, his emotions, because that's what she does on a day-to-day. That's what she was trained to do. And I feel like that could give her a little bit of an advantage, but also I can see that giving her a slight disadvantage as well, because maybe she would look at him as like a client, maybe, I don't know. Moving to Emily. Emily has never been in a relationship before. This is what Emily said. And she's never been in love. Now, why did the experts pick Emily? I mean, she's going from never been in love, never been in a relationship, to getting married. I mean, that is a big step. How does she know how to process those thoughts and those feelings? So Emily is also explaining that she has a wild side, and she's also wild by nature. Emily, to me, gives wild child. her friends say wild child, and they don't think that she's ready for this type of commitment. And I can see why. When Emily is trying to undress this, she does get emotional. She's saying she doesn't know what the feelings are. I'm like, girl, you're tapping into your love emotions. That's what it is. You know, you're finally feeling some, maybe not love, but maybe tapping into like feelings of, I'm gonna be a wife. I'm feelings of a commitment, a committed relationship. I mean, all the things that fall underneath that umbrella, inserted here, that's Emily. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand why she would be like a candidate for no relationship, never been in love, to married. I mean, we've seen this before on last season with a person who has never been in love at 40, even though Emily is what, 30, that he would never been in love, and he went from that to being wet to married. And that didn't work out too well, but I'm not saying it can't work out for Emily. We'll have to wait and see. There were some emotional moments as well on this episode when Lauren was picking out her wedding dress. Lauren explained there was going to be a day for her where she would have to like get her emotions in check because her mother had recently died in April, and she never thought that she would be picking out a wedding dress or getting married when her mother's not there. Lauren does have a support system, like her aunts, her friends, and she even made a phone call to someone, I think it's another family member, when she broke down while trying on the gown because, you know, even though she said she felt her mother's spirit, it was just the fact that her mother is not there and is still very fresh. So I can definitely see why Lauren was emotional. All right, so we also got a chance to see the bachelor and bachelorette parties. I mean, I've seen some in the past where some of these singles were spend their last days as being single before they got married, so I get it. But this right here with the strippers and everything else was just a little bit over the top. It was a little more than PG-13. But let me just say that some of the conversations that the men were having and some of the conversations that the ladies were having, like maybe what would happen on the honeymoon or things like that, and the women comparing eggplant size and stuff like that, fell under, again, the umbrella for TMI and more than PG-13. What I will say is that Emily, the wild child, Miss I'm getting married tomorrow or the next day, whatever it is out there. I mean, Emily even said she's in her element. This is what she do with her friends. She was really on what looked like she had a little too much to drink. She was served too much. And she was doing handstands or just trying to get up on the bar stools. Her dress is too short, and Lifetime producers had to scatter the nether regions down there because they was all out and exposed. I'm like, okay, Emily, so you really think that you're gonna reel all this back tomorrow or the next day when you get married? I don't know. I think the jump is too drastic. I think it's gonna be too much for Emily in the long run. And after all that, we finally get to see one wedding, and that is Emily and Brennan. Emily said that she's ready. She's ready to give her love to the person that she's gonna marry today, and she's looking forward to it. I'm like, okay, Emily, we will definitely see. It's giving, if you've seen Married at First Sight before, a couple of seasons ago, it's giving Virginia. Virginia had party girl ways. But I think Emily has about 10 times extra on Virginia, because Virginia was wild, but Emily though, Now, before they come down the aisle to meet each other, they're meeting with their families and friends, talking about the reasons why they want to get married, and you know that this is the right time for them. So when they do get to the altar, I always find it interesting what the families say about you, like the background is of your personality. So something that Brennan's friends and family want Emily to know is that Brennan is a talker. They say he will talk, he will talk, he will talk. They say, but he's a good listener. He likes to go out to eat, but when the bill comes, he goes through the receipt and meticulously looks over the bill to make sure everything is correct. So I was like, okay, Brennan, but nothing wrong with having your ducks in a row. Because listen, I check the receipt too, because sometimes there's stuff on there extra that you didn't order, or something on there extra that's not the right price. You know, something like that will happen. So when they get to the vows, Emily goes first, and this is what she has in her vows. She says that this is her first time being in a relationship and being in love, and plot twist, they don't know each other, but she's in it for the long run. And the look on Brenda's face was like, Like, you've never been in love, you've never been in a relationship. And I was thinking, exactly, Brennan, red flag, right? Those antennas had to go up, and they had to go up for the people in the audience who don't know Emily, because they already did for me. So when it was time for Brennan to give his vows, he was like, well, I don't have a list as long as yours. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. And I will say Brennan's vows sounded very thought out and very genuine. And as far as this couple lasting, I know for me, usually the telltale is the honeymoons. That's when couples seem to gel or not. I'm on the fence with this one, and I'm on the fence because of Emily, again, not having a significant or any relationship at all, and going from wild child party girl, self-proclaimed, to married wife, settle down. There's no in between here, so I think that's going to be a lot for her to handle and a lot for him as well. All right, everyone, so that was the end of the episode. Next week, the rest of the couples are set to get married. Hopefully we'll see the other 3, or maybe they'll give us 2 at a time. And we also see Michael, the jilted groom, receive a letter from either the jilted bride or whomever, and he's emotional about it. So we will see how the story plays out. But as far as Michael goes, I heard there was a replacement bride, so I don't know how that's going to factor in to this Married at First Sight saga. We'll all find out together. All right, everyone. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. Until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.